TPLF Tigray military and other players are holding key discussions in Tigray. Discussions are not just about the return of IDPs, but about other issues too. It was announced by a Tigray general speaking at a public event. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for watching. Viewers, two news stories. First one is about discussions in Tigray involving military, politicians, other players. Secondly, Minister of Information of Eritrea and former US ambassador to Ethiopia exchanged hot words in social media yesterday. This is not the first time the two have exchanged some fiery statements. Let's start from Eritrea, viewers. Eritreans are commemorating the sacrifices of their martyrs. Martyrs' Day is being observed in Eritrea. In Tigray too, Martyrs' Day is being observed. And yesterday, Minister of Information of Eritrea lashed out at former US ambassador to Ethiopia. Tibur Nagy is former US ambassador to Ethiopia. He worked as Assistant Secretary of State too. 2 days ago, when Donald Trump came to power, Tibur announced that he was going to join the US State Department in some capacity. He joined and maybe then he left. So he joined Trump's team, but he could not work there and he had to leave, I think. Tibur is very critical of Eritrean government, Eritrean president, and Eritrean Minister of Information is also very critical of Tibur Nagy. Both issue very strongly worded statements against each other. Tibur responded to a report submitted by UN Special Rapporteur on Eritrea. Abdislam Babekar, UN Special Rapporteur on Eritrea, submitted his report to the UN General Assembly about human rights situation in Eritrea. And he said that systematic human rights abuses are being committed in Eritrea. Though he said some improvements have been recorded in the fields of health and education. Tibur, responding to this report, Abdislam Babekar said that for the last 30 years, human rights abuses have been committed in Eritrea systematically. Nothing has been done. What is the point of spending so much money on this report? Tibur was basically saying that the world should go for action. It should not just prepare reports and just narrate the human rights abuse being committed in Eritrea. This is time for action, not for words, not for such reports. It's ongoing for 3 decades. Then came response from Yemane Gebremasker, Minister of Information of Eritrea. He said yesterday that notorious chief undertaker is back at Eritrea bashing. So he called Tibur Nagy notorious chief undertaker. He said that he's, as usual, recycling discredited allegations to defame Eritrea. And maybe it's payday and he wants more from his employers. He said we Eritreans are observing Martyrs' Day, solemn gatherings being organized in Eritrea. So on this occasion, instead of commemorating the sacrifices of Eritrean martyrs, Tibur Nagy is spreading propaganda against Eritrea. They've been involved in this war of words in the past too. Tibur openly calls for overthrowing of Isaias Afwerki government. Second news story is from Tigray, viewers, where we know that several issues are unsolved. Issues like status of TPLF, return of IDPs, status of Humera Volkai, SAG, the holding of election, DDR, priority of border deployment, and so many other issues. TPLF not on good terms with federal government. Tigray government on working terms with the federal government, but TPLF is closer to Eritrea than to federal government of Ethiopia now. Tigray military, TPLF, Tigray ruling elites are holding internal discussions so that they could form consensus about how to tackle the challenges in Tigray. Security challenges, especially in the form of TPF emerging in Afar, political challenges in the form of status of TPLF, in the form of Tigray Amhara dialogue, Tigray, PP dialogue, etc. In the form of regional challenges. In Adwa, they held some meetings. Migbe Hale, a general of Tigray military, spoke recently, and yesterday some sources published his speech. And Migbe mentioned the recent meetings in Adwa. Adwa is the stronghold of TPLF. The TPLF's old guards are mainly from Adwa and nearby areas. Getachew Sadkan group was not from Adwa, and traditionally the main leadership of TPLF has been from Adwa and nearby areas. So in Adwa they met and they deliberated what to do next. Migbe disclosed that in Adwa, military leaders, politicians held meetings. They met with people too, and similar meetings will continue in other parts of Tigray. Migbe slammed Gita Choreda party without naming it. He said that those who were part of us, those who were insiders, they have joined outsiders. Now they are working against the unity of Tigray. They are working to divide Tigrayans. Then he criticized outsiders, that outsiders are working to undermine the unity of Tigrayans. That is why what is needed is internal unity. If there is no unity, Tigray people cannot confront the challenges being posed by outsiders and by some insiders who are conspiring with outsiders. So he accused Getachew Reda of conspiring with TPLF. That is with PP against Tigray. That is why it is very difficult for Getachew Reda's Tigray Democratic Solidarity to have a foothold in Tigray. I mean, if you are accusing Getachew group of working with the enemies of Tigray, in alliance with the enemies against Tigray, it means that you will never allow Getachew's party to have presence in Tigray. Channel should not take sides. I mean, channel should be non-partisan. But the way these channels are taking sides, they are not leaving any room for parties like Getachew Democratic Solidarity to exercise their right of political activity in Tigray. Nebe wrote a letter to Tigray government asking the government to ensure that Democratic Solidarity Party of Getachew conducts political activities in Tigray. But military top channels are against Getachew and his group. It means that Getachew party won't be allowed to have any foothold in Tigray. Thanks for watching.